I'm Ben Fogle, and over the next few weeks I'm going to live with different people who inhabit some of the most remote locations on Earth.
Everything about this land represents a place that man shouldn't live.
From the Swedish Arctic tundra to the canyon lands of the American Wild West, the remote forests of Alaska and the red deserts of Namibia. These are the people who decided to make a massive life change.
I felt like I was kind of drowning in the rat race.
The shining lights looked so good, but I just ended up so unhappy.
Are they daring or just downright crazy?
You did not leave this area for 4 years.
We're not used to having people around.
I want to find out what happens when you quit the rat race.
This is extreme if you've got to do this just to make your bed.
And create a new life in the wild.
Good things about living off the grid, Big Brother doesn't stick his nose in your business.
Today, I'm in Namibia, southern Africa, in one of the world's oldest deserts. 32,000 square miles are home to some of the tallest sand dunes on Earth. I'll be living with Boseman and his young family who survive in a desolate desert wilderness where no one else wants to.
Oh, these are all thorns. So I see a dune.
I see life.
Wow. I'll discover how this former city slicker raises a family in such a primal way.
I need to feed the family, but I'm glad it's finished.
My journey begins over 5,000 miles away, in Namibia's capital city, Windhoek. I'm driving 5.5 hours southwest, deep into the desert. It's like a moonscape.
This is African savanna meets Namib desert. Dry, cold at night, boiling hot during the day. I always used to think this would be a tough place to eke out a living. And now I'm actually off to meet some people who are doing it.
Namibia is one of the least populated countries in the world. Just over 2 million people live in an area 3.5 times the size of the UK.
No signposts out here. Okay, I reckon it's this.
It's early afternoon. I haven't seen another property for miles, so I'll take my chances.
I can see that there are tyre tracks. I think this must be it. How many other turnings can there be? No sign whatsoever. Boseman? Hey. Oh, Yuri. I'm assuming you are Yuri.
Yes.
Oh, wow, lots of dogs. Very nice to meet you.
Hello,
How are
nice to meet
you?
you.
Really nice to meet you. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hey, how are you? I'm glad I found the right place.
Good to meet
It's always a bit of a relief when I turn down a random dirt road and I do actually end up with the people I was looking for.
You wondered, wait. But you are here.
Am I a bit later than you thought?
Welcome.
It's those roads, it's amazing.
20 years ago, Gideon Davids worked as a life insurance salesman in Namibia's capital city, earning up to £4,000 a month. In 1997, aged 33, he decided a corporate and cutthroat career was no longer for him. With a passion for the desert, he escaped there to live under a tree. And he learned skills to become a master desert guide. He became known as Boosman, the Afrikaans word for bushman. A year later, he met Japanese agriculture volunteer Yuri. They worked together and saved enough money to buy an abandoned farm. Married in 2007, they now have an 11-month-old daughter.
Hello? Who's this?
This is Lila.
Hello, Lila. Hello, Lila. Hello. Hello. She's thinking, who is this strange man here?
Come and say hello.
Wow.
Can you just hold
Yeah,
this,
of course. Yeah, I've got
please? Just
it.
say. Whoopa.
I love it. Is this the playpen? The back of the truck? It's quite... Are you serious?
It's not a gel,
Hello.
but the easy way to keep it.
Hello. How are you? Hello. What an amazing place to have a family. So I'm quite envious of this already.
Yeah.
Look at that. I love that. Just back in England, back in London where I am, putting your child on the ground, oh God, if someone been around here, you'd worry about dirt and things. But that's life out here, isn't it? You just
I tell you. She's
embrace the environment.
eating stones, dip the...
Eating. So is this your hut? Can I have a look at
Yeah,
that? Is this the house over here?
The family's home is a discarded farm building with 3 rooms.
This is great. So who built this? Did you build this, or did the...
No, this was when the old farmers used to live here, and they just left everything like this. So this was the old garage, or place where they slaughtered the sheep, and we just renovated it. So, and we live, so it's our palace.
We're in the middle of an arid desert as such here, so where on earth does your water come from?
All underground, we pump it with solar panels.
So you really are self-contained here?
Very much.
You don't rely on anyone else?
No.
You rely on the sunshine?
Yeah, very much.
That must shine here a lot.
Very much. So as long as the chickens have sun, they lay eggs, and we are happy.
Namibia has more than 300 days of sunshine each year, so the solar panels also power the luxury of freezers. They also have an old phone line, but no television.
Is this where, am I staying in here as well?
No, I'll show you. Then it's too crowded.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable around people, but yeah, you might not want my smelly shoes. Really.
No, we don't have smelly shoes.
Yeah, I noticed that. So do you not wear barefoot the whole time?
17 years, no shoes anymore.
No shoes?
Yuri also, no shoes anymore.
Can I see the bottom? Wow, I can see that is a tough sole. I've got soft London feet. Do you know how trash they'll get out there? I might have to give it a go there if everyone else is doing it.
Boastman's lifestyle is certainly frugal. There's a bucket shower and a long drop loo, with a resident tortoise, of course.
Yeah, she's asleep now.
I think I've got a very loud voice. I think I might have just woken her.
Salvaged materials cover the yard.
Lots of stuff.
You throw away a piece of metal like this, and tomorrow you need it.
You
don't throw away anything. So.
That includes my 1970s home for the week.
Look at this.
Your place?
My own caravan.
Your own caravan, so you're going to sleep in style.
It's a relief I'm not camping. This area is full of predators, from cheetahs to hyenas. I have a door I can close, and Boastman is keen to point out I do have an extra luxury.
This is the air conditioner.
Yep.
And this is the remote for the air conditioner. So you just take this, And you just unscrew that screw.
Highly technical.
And this comes loose. And there's your aircon. Lovely. Beautiful. So,
I'm liking the style here.
so, yeah.
Very good.
I hope you have a good stay.
Boseman and Yuri's farm covers 100 square kilometers. It's huge by Western standards. But most of it is unusable, arid land that no one else wants. The previous owners abandoned it, selling for just £85,000. Equipment and fencing was all left behind. So Boseman and Yuri could build their own chicken run, plant a vegetable garden and fruit trees, the success of which relies on a water supply. This comes into a tank via overground pipes up to 8 kilometers away. But this afternoon, the tank is empty.
Oh, wow.
Boseman suspects that wild animals have damaged the pipeline, so we head out for emergency repairs.
There are many things that eating and biting and kicking the pipes.
As in wild animals?
As in wild
What
animals.
sort of animals do that?
Hyenas, they chew it like bubblegum. So they very much pull it out and they chew it. Even
I'm laughing now. It must be annoying for you when you've got to replace those pipes. Do you replace the pipes? Do you repair them?
well, we always have some first aid. We always have some tube with us. Old tube that we cut, and we just repair it.
Boseman checks his pipeline once a week. He drives a 12-year-old truck, and with the area of land he has to cover, fuel is his biggest expense, £2,000 a year. We find a major leak. So much water has escaped, we can't waste time.
Well, that's a lot of water.
A lot of precious water, yes.
What on earth has done this? Look, it's like, look, holes. Full holes in it.
That's baboon. If it's pulled,
Baboon.
oh, look at this.
The likely perpetrators scatter on our arrival.
See, the thing is, everybody's hunting for fresh water. And they
So
want
they've done this to create a water hole.
They want to have the fresh water. So porcupine, baboon, hyena, zebra, everybody want to have clean water.
How do you know that-
Leopards, everybody want to have clean water.
There we go.
Again, if you just turn it, that's the best. That's it.
In the extreme heat and cold of the desert, the pipe expands and contracts, so it needs securing.
It's like bandaging a leg.
Very much. The best for you.
Ready? What do you think?
Yeah, I
Good
think the
repair?
water is running.
Do you like my bandage?
I think you're 100%. We can build you a small house here on the farm, man.
Our job done, we fashion a makeshift scarecrow to keep the animals away. I'm relieved we now have drinking water, but I'm beginning to regret my decision to go native.
Oh, just show you. Oh, this is why it's not my favourite thing to walk barefoot around here. These are all thorns. Ouch. You do realise I've got them on my bum now as well, but quite frankly, my bottom hasn't suffered as much as my feet. I don't know quite how he does it.
Boseman can't afford to bury the pipeline underground, so already at the end of my first day, I can see how challenging it is for the family just to get life's basics.
This is a pretty harsh environment to start a life, especially with a young child. That's my abiding thought. So I don't really know how they would describe their life. But I certainly have been immersed in the deep end. It's much more hands-on life here, and something tells me that that's just the beginning.
Coming up, we kill for our dinner.
We're eating meat.
You got it.
We're eating meat. I'm not doing it for fun. I'm just doing it for my family.
And have to work fast to avoid attracting predators.
Okay. I think it's a bit more than 250 kilos.
It's only 120 each.
I'm in the remote Namibian desert, home of the Davids family. During the day, temperatures can exceed 40 degrees, but overnight they plummet below freezing. It's 7 a.m. and cold, but I'm sticking with going barefoot.
Morning. Can I come in?
Morning.
Hi there, how are you doing?
Welcome, welcome,
Good
welcome.
to see you. How are you?
Good to yourself.
Morning, Lila. How are you? Morning. How are you? Are you well? Did you sleep well?
Yeah, did you sleep?
I slept very well, thank you.
You like to have a coffee?
I'd love some. That would be really
Oh.
nice. Thank you very much.
Shopping for dried goods used to be a luxury, but it's now a necessity for baby essentials. It's an 11-hour round trip every few months, so to keep other costs down, they grow most of their own food. And for meat, Boastman relies on his true bushman skills.
Well, we shoot about 2 gemsok in a year, and it's a lot of meat. So if you just process everything, you make biltong, you make sausage, you make the steaks, and what's good, we have all the freezers, and we just freeze it and we can go all long through the year.
As a child, Boastman grew up on a farm, so his high-flying career in the city seems a world away. I'm keen to know what triggered his return to a simple lifestyle, harvesting what his family needs from the land around them.
All what I was doing, I was running after other people's money. I think it's the biggest mistake that I ever made, just because I lost so much of my life during that. I went to a place, I think that's the problem. So many people go for the shining lights. The shining lights look so good. Everything sounds perfect. I just ended up so unhappy.
How did you go then from a 4-bedroom house, 3 televisions, sports car, shiny suit to your little trunk living under a tree?
I said to my boss, I'm finished. I'm going. He said to me, do you want to lose all this? And I said to him, yes, I'm losing all this. I don't care about this. I am not happy here. I'm going to the desert. And he said to me, you are just like a bushman. The bushman, if they are unhappy on a place, they leave everything and they just carry on with nothing. You are just like a bushman. And this is how I got my name. At the end of the day, I had nothing. No shining lights, no house, nothing.
No money invested either?
Also no money. Because the money also go in there. It's just interest and stuff that you pay. So actually, there where I was, that I thought I was very rich, I was actually very poor. I even was much more poor than now. Because then I had to run after money. Now I don't. If I don't earn anything today, if I don't have food, then I go shoot a gemsok and my family can eat.
Boastman has now lived in the desert as a master bushman for 17 years. His tour guiding still brings in occasional income, but when it comes to providing for the family, he goes back to basics. This afternoon, we're going hunting. One hemsbok keeps the family in meat for 6 months. Hemsbok are the largest species of the oryx antelope. 300 roam wild across Boastman's land in herds.
And why have you decided to focus on a hemsbok today rather than a kudu or a springbok, for example? Is it tastier? Yeah.
If you eat meat, you know what is a good meat. There is nothing as tasty as hemsbok. Kudu is good, but hemsbok is just the best. Springbok is good, hemsbok is just the best.
When spooked, these desert dwellers can run up to 60 kilometers an hour. But we finally spot a lone male away from the herd.
It doesn't really look like calves in there, young ones.
That's a good sign.
I think it's good. We try it.
Yeah?
Boastman uses an old hunting rifle, the most effective and quickest way to kill the animal.
We're eating meat.
You got it.
We're eating meat.
A hemsbok can weigh up to 300 kilograms and kill using its horns.
If he stands up, you are dead.
Boastman's careful to position the truck so that we're safe if the animal moves.
Are you ready?
Yep.
They are so dangerous. If he stands up here, I tell you. If you can help me with a bit of water, and we're going to load it.
How does that make you feel?
I'm very glad it's finished.
Yeah?
I'm very glad it's finished. But I need to feed the family. But I'm glad it's finished.
This is 6 months of your food. Yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to... Oh,
Yeah.
But that's just the reflexes again. It's hard for me to connect the dots between these majestic animals and this sort of scene now.
That's so beautiful. So I'm not doing it for fun. I'm just doing it for my family, for the meat. We also need to live off the land.
I'm shocked by what's just happened.
It kind of elicits horror, but this is 6 months of food for a family who live off this land and live by this land. And I suppose this is the cost, isn't it?
I still feel unnerved, but we need to move the animal quickly before we attract predators. Digging holes means we can lower the vehicle to help us load the hemsbok.
Are we not then going to get stuck in the rut?
It's 4x4. And 4x4 only the driver gets stuck, not the vehicle.
The temperature's heating up, and we still have to lift this enormous animal by hand.
Stop, stop. How's that?
That's it.
The right angle?
Good. At the bottom.
Incredibly, if I wasn't here, Boastman would do this on his own.
Okay.
One.
You take 120 kilograms, I take 120, and then we go.
2, 3.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Our saving grace is that Boastman has some rope we can use.
No, the people from the cities, they have these nice winches. I think it's nice to do it like this.
Do you, is that part of the respect, do you think, for the animal?
Very much, very much. I think he suffered, I also need to suffer. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay.
I think he's a bit more than 250 kilos.
It's only 120 each. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. Yes.
One last pull.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, up. Okay.
We make the 3-kilometer journey back to the house and hope the scent doesn't attract a following.
Hi, Yuri.
Yuri's surprised by the size of our kill.
Boastman was saying how, I mean, I could tell how excited he was to show your daughter the process, life and death and things. I mean, she's still too young to really take it in. Is that something you're keen to share for her to? Not as much.
Of course, she has to know where it comes from. But with this age, I'm still like this.
She needs to know it from now and next time and next time. She must get in the system. If she wants to live over here, she must get in the system. Later in her life, it's her free choice. But we want to give her this opportunity to grow up like this. So.
It will take 2 days to completely butcher the carcass. But tonight, we're celebrating this food as a family with some steaks.
This has got to be some of the freshest meat I'll have ever eaten, because that was roaming on these plains about 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah.
About 2.5 hours, I think this has taken.
Yeah. So this is so special. So.
Sitting together at sunset, I'm curious to know more about Boastman and Yuri's life as a couple.
How did you both meet? That always starts with a giggle. Whose version do I hear? They usually differ from husband and wife.
Well, what I can tell, Yuri came to Namibia for 2 days. I met her during that time in the area of S03E01, and a few letters later, she came back.
So that was through letters? Really?
Few letters. And then I think we just melted together. The rest is history.
It's verdict time.
Wow.
We're not just
That is amazing. I don't think I've ever had fresher meat than that in my life, and certainly not cooked in such a spectacular setting. Cheers.
Cheers. No.
Wow.
I'm beginning to understand that paring back their lives to exist as simply as possible is the key to this couple's happiness.
Everything about this land sort of represents a place that man shouldn't live. And yet, Boastman and Yuri have created this extraordinary life here.
Coming up, I head deep into the desert to see how Boastman's basic life began.
I had a few tons of food, I had a sleeping bag, and this is what I had.
And I get a lesson in bushman survival.
It's about 40% of oil. So if you want to eat him, don't cook him, eat him raw.
Boseman Davids and his family live deep in the Namibian desert, on an old abandoned farm. This morning, his wife Yuri is butchering the hemsbok that we hunted, and I'm going to try and help.
I don't think I'll make a butcher, will I? It's quite a big piece of meat to work on, isn't it?
Yeah, this is only 1 pound.
Yeah, exactly. I can imagine. I see how it takes days and days. 2 days actually seems too quick almost.
Yuri's lifestyle here is a real contrast to her Far Eastern upbringing.
I never expected that I have to work with meat and I have to eat so much meat in my life. I didn't expect that.
But did you adapt to it very easily?
Yeah, if I'm here, I want to eat meat. And if I go to Japan, I want to eat Japanese food.
Really? So you're like a chameleon. You adapt to each place. A chameleon, yeah? Is that a good analogy?
I studied agriculture in Japan, and when I decided to go to this to study agriculture, actually livestock farming, and my mother said she gave up that time because she started to think maybe I'm going to be quite in the wild.
Alternative.
Yeah.
Boseman has lived in the remote desert for 17 years. And a 3-hour drive away, he's keen to show me where it all began.
This tree is so special to me, you cannot believe. When I left the city, I just wanted to get away. I packed my stuff in those boxes. I had a few tins of food, I had a sleeping bag, and this is what I had. And I was just living here, and there were no one. All those buildings that you see, they were not here.
Works for me.
You like it?
I do.
On first thought, living under a tree seems a crazy idea. But sitting here with Boseman, I can really see how he connected with this landscape. The area is now popular with hikers. But years ago, Boseman would earn money for food by asking the occasional tourist if they needed a desert guide. This was how he met Yuri.
So it definitely takes a very special woman to see this as home.
I tell you, I don't think many women can do this. But I think she can do this, and that is what makes me so happy to be with her, because she can do this.
Could you have settled with anyone that wasn't happy to live as Yuri did here?
No. 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 If I had to move in big houses and stuff like this, then I had to go back to the city. And I came here to get away from that. I stepped so many steps back to come back over here. And I'm just so glad that Yuri stepped all that steps back with me. Today we are so happy. It's so nice to live with her, it's so nice with Lila. We are really so happy. And it all started just over here at this tree.
Boseman and Yuri joined forces and started a desert guiding business in Sossusvlei. It's Namibia's famous clay pan, surrounded by iconic red sand dunes, some of the oldest and highest in the world.
Wow, this is amazing, isn't it? Have you been here a lot of times over the years?
I must have been here thousands and thousands
Really?
of times.
So do you recognise each individual tree?
I believe so, yeah.
Today is the first time they've brought daughter Lila.
So special to bring her. when we drove here this morning, it's just so special. We wanted to show it there. Look there. One day I'm going to take you there. It's,
Do you think it has a sort of a calming influence on you being here?
Definitely. Many people maybe have fears for the desert, but if you just understand it, it's so relaxing, and especially the silence.
Boseman was passionate about guiding people through this landscape.
We took them and told them about the desert and show them the life in the desert, make them understand the desert, and we want to make them to love the desert as much as we want it. The place is so rich. If each and every grain that you step on, there's so much life down there. In a city, is a lot of people running around. They all look like dead. Look at all this life over here. There's much more life going on here than in the city.
Boseman still guides occasionally, and I want to experience this for myself.
So I see a dune.
I see life.
Okay.
If you are lost in the desert, one of the secrets is don't use energy. Don't run after a lizard, you'll never catch it. Catch it on a passive way.
Okay, I can see the lizard now, actually.
You see the lizard. Okay. So what you do, you take your hat, you throw your hat in the air. You think it's a bird, you dive in the sand, and you go and get him out of the sand. Easy. Let me show you.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. The sand's so cool underneath, isn't it?
This is why. Everything is under the sand, where it's nice and cool.
Oh, you got him, you got him.
Yeah.
See?
There's. Okay, now. Okay, you first have a look.
So what kind of lizard is this?
This is what we call a shovel snout.
Yeah.
So really a nose that you can dive in the sand. If you are lost, it's no use that we are 20 people and we catch a small lizard. Who's going to look and who's going to eat? So the smaller the group, the better the chance to survive. So the two of us, I catch us 15 lizards in the morning, 7 lizards each. It's about 40% of oil. So if you want to eat him, don't cook him, eat him raw, that you eat a nice juicy lizard.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you stopped there. Only because we're not starving. I happily eat it otherwise.
I'll just give it a little practice run too.
Nice.
This has to be the most spectacular playground that Lila could hope for.
I don't think she's sure about this just yet. Wow.
With a bit of encouragement from Mum.
Yuri!
And I'm just the embarrassing uncle.
Seeing Boseman out here in his t-shirt, shorts, nothing else, it's very hard for me to compare that to the image of the man in his suit, driving around with his plasma screens at home and selling life insurance. It's hard for me to even imagine that time because Boseman's Boseman. He is a bushman. It's funny that he got that name later in life because I'm sure he should have been born with it.
Coming up, there are some tough decisions ahead for this close-knit family.
We have to send her to the private boarding school. Can you imagine? That's tough. That's tough.
Over the past week, the desert wilderness of Namibia has been my home. The Davids family lead a simple existence, something which baby daughter Lila is fast absorbing.
Come on, chickens. Right, can you see any eggs? These ones. You hold it for me. Want to hold that? Look, it's a small one. Here you go. Want to hold it?
And no matter where in the world you are, there's a universal language of child-friendly tactics.
Quick, open the tunnel, open the tunnel, beep, beep, beep. A little bit.
Yeah.
Boseman and wife Yuri have chosen this desert life for themselves, but I'm curious to know how they see Lila's future.
What about education? It's quite hard. I'm not aware of schools nearby.
It is. There's no school nearby. We have to send her to the private boarding school of 300 kids away, 350 kids away. That's tough. That's tough. Can you imagine? But the children might be much quicker to adapt to this changes, but as a parents.
But you'll try to put that off for as long as possible. Would you home educate her? Would you educate her yourself?
No, that we have been talking, the Bushman and I have been talking about it. Of course, many things she can learn. Like if she goes to the field with the Bushman, so many things that she can learn. Just being on the farm and looking at her father, and she can learn so many things. But she doesn't have friends. So we really feel that's very important for her.
You can tell everything they do from now on is about Lila and for Lila. And I think it's probably brought new meaning to this landscape. And actually, probably like a lot of parents, it will bring them even closer together because they've got this unique shared experience. I mean, from what I've seen, Lila is going to be the true African Mowgli. You know, she really is going to be someone who's growing up here, so close to nature, you can touch it, you can taste it. There's not many people that will have that, and the skills that she's going to hone from both of her parents, but Boseman in particular, is extraordinary.
Living in this tough landscape, Boseman feels he owes everything to the generations of ancient Bushmen, the indigenous hunter-gatherers of this region.
Wow, what's this? Is this a grave?
That's a grave, yeah. Typically, if they would bury somebody, then they would just throw a lot of stones that the animals cannot dig him out.
Historically, the Bushmen would be buried in an upright position, ready, as they believed, to walk to the moon.
We don't really like to think about these things, especially when they're a long way off, but when it's your time to go and meet him up there, would you like to be buried like this?
Today, unfortunately, I think it's not going to be very much allowed like this. But my last wish is that Yuri just in a sandstorm, a heavy, heavy sandstorm, just scatter my ash, that I just get lost somewhere, and that I'm everywhere but nowhere. And this is how I want to live.
My time in the desert has come to an end.
You know, I think this is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. It just creates this calm and tranquility. I feel so happy.
Spending time with Boseman, I admire his tenacity to abandon a financial quest for wealth, yet accumulate an abundance of it in every other way.
So many of us aren't really sure what we want. I think that the grass is always greener, but Boseman is one of those rare individuals who knows exactly what he wants. He doesn't need anything more. He's taken a tract of land no one else really wants, that many people here look at and think it's a barren, inhospitable wasteland. But he's seen the beauty in it. He's scratched beneath the surface. He knows the beauty that's here, and he's now going to pass that on to Lila. And I think that's, in my mind, that's the most magical thing of this extraordinary family.
Just as my feet are toughening up, it's time to put my boots back on.
Every time I pull a little splinter out of my foot from the thorns, I'll think of you all. I'll have happy memories.
Do you want to take a few thorns with?
No. You know what? I'm happy just to take my memories. Let me say goodbye to Lila. Goodbye, Lila. Goodbye. 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 Oh, a bit scary. A bit scary. Sorry. That was a bit too scary, wasn't it? I forgot to tell you I was going to do that. There you go, Yuri. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
That's good.
Wow, what an amazing experience. Thank you for sharing this magical world. Look at this.
Thanks coming into our life and see our world. I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
It's given me a lot of thought for life. And I think Lila is going to have a magical time here. I'm going to go for one last leap down the dune. Bye.
Very enjoy.
Woohoo!
Next time, I'm in the wilds of Alaska with a couple who live 100 miles from the nearest road or building.
Oh, that smell.
I'll experience how they survive in the wilderness using the land and animals around them.
Spotted bear.
Grizzly.
Yeah.
Spike's leapfrogging over Angola and landing in the Congo next for more Sunday evening adventures with Chris Tarrant, Extreme Railways.